Hello, this is Preeti Singh reporting for CNN India. Today on the show we have a very special guest, Rani Lakshmibai. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me here.
Our viewers have been very excited to hear from you. They have so many questions and so do I. So let's cut to the chase and begin. Here we go. We all know that you had to surrender the throne of Jhansi as the British East India Company annexed it. Tell us, how did you feel about leaving your beloved Jhansi?
I was infuriated and absolutely enraged. This Jhansi has belonged to my husband's family for all of this time as a state in India. And then now the British East India Company just want to take over, so they just walk up and use the doctrine of lapse and try to annex it when we have an heir. Just because the heir doesn't have my blood and my genes, they're using the doctrine of lapse to take over and leave us alone. What did they give us? A measly pension of 60,000 rupees per year. And that's quite little for a year. Anyways, my heir, he was too young, and my husband's will stated that I should rule until he comes of age. And my husband made the doctrine of lapse. Still, they just used it shamelessly. And I even begged them countless times in letters to give me back my Jhansi. But still, they just stuck their noses up and used it in an unapproved manner that would have definitely not been approved if there was my husband around and an actual king there.
Totally understandable. Now we want to know something about your childhood.
Oh,
We know that you were brought up as an equal to a boy. Do you know why your father did it? And how did you feel about it then?
I think he did that. I remember once he told me that he always wanted a son, both the son and the daughter, one to teach. He wanted a son just to teach all his skills he had, archery, swordsmanship, all to him so we can pass it on from generation to generation. He was still overly happy when he got a baby girl, but still, when he had me, he was sad that he couldn't train any girl because it was all meant for boys. But then he realized that I am fully capable of doing it too. Just because different gender doesn't mean we're all equally capable. So then that's why I think he raised me like that. And at the time, I felt lucky that he had trained me like that, because few girls actually got the chance. Most girls had to do the boring housework and cleaning and jobs and chores, while the boys got to go outside and run and do archery and swordsmanship. And that proved to me that girls, when I learned those, girls can also do archery. They can also do swordsmanship. There isn't a difference, girls or boys. They can all do the same things. And that was very valuable to me in life, especially when I led my kingdom against the British East India Company, and when I refused to lower the throne, although I did once. And it just played an important component, because that was the moment that we could realize that I had the capability to do it, and that proved to me that women could do it, I could do it. And without that, I don't think I could have done that at all.
Glad to hear that. And India is glad that your father raised the way he did.
Yep.
So, let's get to the next question. What drove you to keep on ruling and fighting for Jhansi, even if your life and your son's life was in grave danger? What made you keep going?
I honestly think that what drove me to keep on going was my love for my homeland, Mother Earth, that raised us, that helped us. If these foreigners were just going to come and take over her and not care for her, just want it for power and strength and not actually love her, then I was willing to fight with all my might. For I am measly compared to her, the great India. I am measly, but I can do a lot to help my homeland stay protected. And I didn't care that much for myself, but I cared what would be in the future generations of India. What would happen to our children and great-great-grandchildren? Would they be ruled by Britishers and be held and couldn't do their own thing and have to eat sacred animals and be forced into captivity for just protesting for their rights? And that's what actually drove me, and I didn't really care. I just wanted to protect.
Great. Such a brave and noble soul. What a brave and noble soul you have.
Oh, that's nothing.
We all know that you declared war on mighty British East India Company. Tell us, what made you do it?
It was just all of their cruelty to my homeland. Honestly, all the villagers in Jhansi, all the times when I visited them, every time there would always be one crying or one saddened because a few moments before, or a day before, or right then, there were all British officers taking their animals and eating them. And the thing is, in India, we all know that it's sacred, cows are sacred, and we use them for milk and not that. But then they just kept on stealing chickens, cows, pigs, goats, all of them, and just eating them. And they didn't even give anything, they just took it. And that was just honestly so infuriating. And they also just commanded for respect that they didn't earn at all. They were just like, we want this. But they didn't do anything for our Mother Earth. They didn't do anything for our homeland. They were just foreigners who just came and just wanted to take over. They can't just take over a land that's inhabited by multiple animals and humans too. And I honestly was just so sick when there's this poor lady I knew from when I was visiting villages, and then I saw an officer just cruelly just steal her newborn calf and her cow, and it was her only thing that kept her alive, and they just took it and laughed at them. And when I saw that, it was enough. And I really just declared war. It was too much. And they also, I forgot, but even I felt bad for the Indians working for the British East India Company. They had to bite cartridges greased with cow and pig fat. And these are both animals that are both sacred that you shouldn't eat. And yet, if you bite that, it's just defying their religion. And the Britishers were defying their religion and saying, switch. And it was practically a shout out to switch.
What do you think was your greatest accomplishment as a ruler and also as a leader of your army?
I feel in general that although I ruled as a queen, most of my time as a queen was spent warring and leading my army against the unfair British East India Company generals. And everything I practically did in my life as before when I was a teenager to an adult, it was all based for my army, for Jhansi, for India. And it was all, I led my army. I fought for the fort of Gwalior and led my army. And that was practically all I really did. And that's what makes me famous, because I stood up. And I feel...
When others didn't.
And it was honestly, when I was a queen, just still, I'm repeating this because it's very important, that all of my things, it was only ruling, keeping the British astray from Jhansi, and also making war plans. And then whenever I was leading war, I was just warring as good as I could. And most of my life was just based. And my greatest accomplishment would probably be that.
Wonderful. We are running out of time for today's show, but I can't wait for you to come back and talk to us again.
Of course, it'll be a pleasure to.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching, viewers out there.